Hey sis, I bagged myself a new rich investor boyfriend. Huh? Wait a sec, is that Zoe? You bet it is. Wow, I haven't heard from you in 4 years. What are you talking about? Are you drunk again? No, I'm not drunk at all. I'm as sober as a judge. I thought your husband was a top exec at a major global company. What was his name again? Godwin, right? If I remember correctly, you told me in no uncertain terms not to come to your wedding because you didn't want a fat, ugly cave troll like me ruining the atmosphere. We got a divorce. What? Why? You wouldn't stop bragging when you married him. I remember you telling me you were set for life after bagging yourself a highly educated, filthy rich corporate exec. Well, that was true until he quit his damn job. Oh boy. He kept bringing it up for a few months beforehand, but I told him there was absolutely no way I'd let him quit, but he still went ahead and did it anyway. He handed in his resignation last month. I told him I didn't need an unemployed loser for a husband and made him pack up his things and leave in the middle of the night. Wow, I can't believe how lightly you view divorce. That's only because you're ugly and get literally no male attention ever, sis. Marriage stops being a sacred, unbreakable oath when you have options. I guess it can't be helped, though. If I was a big fat cave troll like you, I'd probably take divorce seriously, too. On top of that, you're probably the brokest loser I know. Let's face it, you were always doomed to lead a life of poverty when you dropped out of high school to start working in that fish factory. I did warn you back then, but you didn't listen. What man in his right mind would be interested in you? The only reason I dropped out of high school to work was to help pay for your tuition fees at the college you desperately wanted to get into. And not of my own will either. Mom and Dad forced me to drop out, remember? We have to make sure the beautiful daughter can at least make a success of her life. Ugh, God, I can still hear her harping on at me in my head now. Aha! I've got it. I'll tell you what, sis, since I'm super kind and you're a fat, ugly high school dropout with no prospects in life and no ability to attract a man, I'll give you my sloppy seconds. You can have Godwin. I'll pass, thanks. You don't have to hold back, Rachel. I know you're desperate. Oh, I get it. You're putting on a brave face because the shame of admitting you actually want my ex-husband would be too much to bear, right? It's okay, sis. Really, you guys are a match made in heaven. A high school dropout like you and an unemployed, poverty-stricken loser like him are perfect for each other. I'm seriously done with him, so you can take him off my hands now. I'm already married. Huh? Wait, what? I didn't tell you because... well, why the hell would I? But I got married 3 years ago. What the hell? Also, I'm technically not a high school dropout anymore. With the support and encouragement of my husband, I decided to sit my finals and passed with flying colors. I'm currently studying media and communications at a top 5 university while working part-time alongside my studies. Wow, what the... Are you really? Whatever, I don't care about that. There's no way you'd actually be capable of bagging yourself a decent guy. He's probably some overweight dweeb who dresses in raggedy-ass clothes with no personal hygiene, right? I bet you met him at the fish factory. As for me, I can get any guy I want whenever I want him. You can't hold a candle to my beauty, and don't you ever forget it. Assuming you're not just lying to protect your ego, the fact you were able to get married alone itself is a miracle. So please, stop bragging about your bottom-of-the-barrel level husband, because to be honest, it's just plain cringe. I'd appreciate if you didn't insult my husband, Zoe. Anyway, after replacing that unemployed chump with my new high-spec investor genius stud boyfriend, the path to fame, riches, and the celebrity lifestyle I've always dreamed of is finally set in stone. I see. Well, that's great, Zoe. Congratulations. Sorry for stealing all the happiness. You really are the biggest pain in the ass of a human being I've ever had the misfortune of knowing. Hey, Eric, will you be getting home soon?
Hey, Rachel. I won't be long now. Hey, remember the venture capitalist launching a startup around social media-based web design utilizing omni-channel customer engagement strategies to leverage synergistic paradigms to drive holistic growth in an ever-evolving market landscape guy I mentioned before? Well, we just got done with our meeting about me potentially providing some funding. I'm on my way home in a taxi as we speak.
Jeez, that was a mouthful. Eric, I'm happy for you to just call him startup guy in future, you know?
Wow, sorry, I don't know what made me write all that. To be honest, I was so impressed by the guy that he got me a little hyped up.
Does that mean you'll be providing him with the funds he needs?
I did plan on giving him my answer today, but we were met with an unfortunate interruption, so we had to reschedule.
An interruption?
Apparently he went through a divorce recently. I'd like to think it was just a coincidence, but his ex-wife was in the same cafe we were having our meeting in, and, well, she stormed over and started yelling at him in the middle of our talks. It was so embarrassing. I felt awful for the guy. She must have overheard our conversation because after yelling at him, she started hitting on me. Can you believe it? She wouldn't stop harping on about how she'd always wanted an investor boyfriend.
Good God, seriously?
Needless to say, by that point, our business talks had been well and truly hijacked, so it didn't feel right to give him my decision on the funding then and there. After a few minutes, I guess he realized she wasn't going to leave us alone because he mouthed reschedule at me with a slightly traumatized look on his face before hightailing it out of there.
What about you? Did she end up leaving you alone?
I paid the bill, made my way out to Main Street, and hailed myself a taxi faster than you could say Psycho X. I could have walked home, but I didn't want to risk her tailing me.
Wow, I see. Well, that was probably for the best. By the way, you wouldn't have happened to find out his ex-wife's name, would you? She sounds batshit crazy, so it wouldn't hurt to know just in case she tries anything.
Hang on a sec, what was it again? That's it. I'm pretty sure her name was Zoe.
What? Really? Her name was Zoe? Oh, God damn it.
Hey, wait a sec. Didn't you say you had a little sister called Zoe?
Startup guy wouldn't happen to be called Godwin, would he? That's what my sister's ex-husband is called.
Wow, are you serious? Holy crap! I mean, seriously, holy crap, this is intense! It's hard to believe it could be anyone but them. Talk about coincidence.
Listen, Eric, so this is where it gets super crazy. My little sister just messaged me for the first time in 4 years. She said she divorced her husband and replaced him with a new investor boyfriend.
What?
Eric, my sister has her sights well and truly locked onto you.
What?
You did the right thing to escape in a taxi. If she found out where we lived, she would have been at our house every day.
Do you think we should tell her I'm your husband?
We could tell her, but I'd be surprised if she believed me. She's second to none in her ability to twist and distort the truth to fit her narrative. So I'm not sure exactly how she'll take it, but I'm almost certain she won't believe me.
Now that you mention it, I remember you telling me about this before. You said she has an almost pathological tendency to make the most absurd assumptions and misunderstandings about pretty much everything, right?
Yep, you pretty much just summed her up perfectly. The problem is, on the off chance that she did believe me, I think she'd probably start seeing me as a rival, and I can't promise she wouldn't do something crazy to take revenge. Once she was arrested and taken to court for stalking my cousin's husband, who was the president of a company at the time. It's like she just loses all common sense and reason as soon as she sees a man with money.
I see. Maybe instead of setting her straight head on, it might be better if we bided our time and waited for the right moment before telling her the truth and making our escape too quickly for her to launch any attacks on us.
Making our escape, huh? I see. Right, making it coincide with our plans for a month from now would probably be the smartest way to do this, wouldn't it? Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yep, bingo, we're on the same page. Honestly, I don't see any other alternatives at this point.
I'm so sorry for all the trouble my sister caused you today, Eric. I know this must have been the last thing you needed. Anyway, I think you should probably be careful when you're out and about for the time being. There's no telling what she's capable of.
Got it. I will. You be careful too, okay, babe? If she messaged you for the first time in 4 years today, that means you're back on her radar too.
I'm so lonely. I want to see my investor boyfriend, but I can't. Huh? What are you talking about? Like I said, I can't see my investor boyfriend, and I'm super lonely. Do you think that could be because you don't have his contact details? Sure I don't for now, but there is a way I could get a hold of them. It seems like him and my ex-husband Godwin are acquaintances, so I messaged him asking for his number. I don't know whether it's the pain of knowing he can't have me anymore, but he's being super mean-spirited and won't reply. Interesting. I see. Are you sure it doesn't just mean he's not interested in you? No way, that's not possible. There's no man on this planet who could resist my good looks and charm. One little suggestive invitation from me is all it takes for them to run in my direction. I always get my way. And in actual fact, my investor boyfriend fell in love with me the moment he laid eyes on me. And yet, in spite of that, he didn't even give you his number. Isn't that strange? He's probably just being shy. Please, sis, would you quit making these jealousy-fueled passive-aggressive remarks already? It's kinda tragic. A high school dropout loser like you had no chance against a college-educated beauty like me to begin with. Like I said before, I'm not a high school dropout anymore. Anyway, a person's value isn't determined by their educational background. A degree is just a piece of paper at the end of the day. When all's said and done, it's who you are on the inside that's important. Okay, thanks for the input, you pathetic sore loser. Anyway, I gotta get my new boyfriend's number as soon as I can. He must be panicking so hard right now. He's probably beside himself with worry after realizing he has no way of messaging me. Ugh, I give up. This is such a waste of time. Rachel, oh my God, what the heck? That was you I saw just now, right? That was you in the passenger seat of my investor boyfriend's Lamborghini just now, wasn't it? What the hell is going on here? Explain yourself. Oh my God, are you trying to steal my boyfriend from me? I won't let you get away with this. What the hell do you think you're playing at? Hey, if you know my boyfriend, you need to give me his number now. Godwin already moved out of town and none of my messages are getting through to him. If you have information on my investor boyfriend, then you need to hand it over, bitch. Hey, Eric. Looks like Godwin was able to move out of town without a hitch.
Yep. He bought a place with a big spacious study to use as his company office. He's going ahead with the registration procedures as we speak. I agreed to give him the money he needed, but since he moved out of town, I'll be keeping an eye on his progress from afar instead of the regular meetings we had planned before the incident. That's fine, though. I guess that's why video calls were invented. I've got high hopes for this guy. He plans to use the connections he made during his years at the major global company to generate business leads. If anyone can make this thing succeed, it's him.
That reminds me, my aunt told me something. Godwin's marriage to my sister? Apparently he was never too hot on the idea, but both of their parents were so aggressively relentless in encouraging them to tie the knot, he felt like he had no choice. To put it simply, he was half forced into it.
Yeah, I heard about that too. He constantly used to tell me how much he hated it and wanted to divorce her.
Wow, really? Well, I'm pleased that he at least got what he wanted in the end. Anyway, not long left now, huh?
Right, I'm getting ready to do my final packing checks on Tuesday. After that, all that remains is to actually take the plunge.
I'm a genius. I knew that if I did a little snooping around and had a few chats with your friends, asking a sneakily worded question here, putting out a feeler there, I'd be able to get a hold of your address in no time. I only wish I'd thought of it sooner. With your address in hand, all that remains is the simple matter of coming to your house and checking your phone to find my investor boyfriend's number. Yes, Rachel, my dearly beloved big sister, this means what you think it means. I found you. I can't believe you were right under my nose the whole time. I had no idea you were living in an apartment building 2 blocks away from me. Anyway, I'm outside. Hurry up and come to the door. Zoe, you keep referring to your new man as nothing but your investor boyfriend. Would you mind telling me why that is? Huh? No way. Could it be? Is it possible that not only do you not have his phone number, but that you also don't know his name? Well, it's hardly my fault. Anyway, I'll have his name today when I finally get his phone number, so it's not like it's a big deal. I know who he is. I know you do. I saw you in his frickin' Lamborghini. What I'm wondering is why the hell would you, a fat, ugly cave troll, and our parents' least favorite child, have anything to do with my high-rolling investor boyfriend? I don't know what kind of cunning shenanigans you pulled to bag yourself a ride in his car, but you need to quit being so arrogant and stay the hell away from him from now on, because me and him are madly in love. Your investor boyfriend is my husband. What the hell? Wait a sec. What the hell are you talking about? There is no way a broke, ugly loser like you could ever bag yourself a high-spec guy like him. You're pretty much at the bottom of society. With wealth like this, he soars so high in the skies of success that you're invisible to him. I don't care whether you believe me or not. I don't care enough to prove it to you either. We'll never see each other again, so why would I? Huh? You know, it didn't feel real until today. What didn't feel real? What do you mean we'll never see each other again? I'm outside your house, you idiot. That's nice. You see, me and my husband are moving to Portugal today. Portugal? That's right. We came here due to my work circumstances. The head of our Portugal branch handed in their resignation a few months back. My boss approached me with an offer. I accepted, and we've been making preparations to leave our old lives in the States behind and start anew in the Portuguese sun. I have no idea when we'll be back. So basically, it's a shame you put so much effort into finding out where I live only to find out we're not in the country anymore. But we already sold the apartment you're currently loitering outside of, so I suggest you go home unless you want a neighbor to call the cops on you. What? You mean you're never coming back here? Yes, exactly. We just arrived at the airport. See ya. No, I don't care if you go, but you can't take my investor boyfriend with you. You need to leave him behind for me. Rachel! No! As you might have guessed, my parents always played favorites with me and my sister, and by that, I mean she was their favorite while I got ignored. Thankfully, my aunt sensed something was wrong and swooped in to save me. She tried to save my sister Zoe too, because she knew that being spoiled too much could be just as damaging as being neglected. But she enjoyed being the center of attention too much and rejected my aunt's offer. With that, my parents began piling on the love and attention even more, even when she was misbehaving. Which meant she inevitably grew into the delusional, self-obsessed monster we saw today. Hilariously, she never did end up finding out her investor boyfriend's name. Oh, and I don't know why, but our parents divorced shortly after the events of today's saga. My aunt mentioned something about them falling out after Zoe divorced Godwin, but honestly, who knows? With that, not only did my sister lose her husband and her new investor boyfriend, who was supposed to whisk her off her feet and ride her off into the sunset like a knight in shining armor, but her family also disintegrated. I heard she moved to New York to find some other poor chump to leech off of because she's heard that's where rich folk hang out. But in the end, she started dating some shady dude who was wrapped up in a bunch of bad stuff. They started taking heroin together, and Zoe got into a bunch of debt to fund their habit. The future doesn't look too bright for my sister.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.